Broadcasting live. It's America's longest running talk show on computers. It's Computer America, bringing you the biggest names in technology with guest interviews, new products, and your emails. Listen live at computeramerica.com on any device around the world. Email the show at live@computeramerica.com or find us on social media. Be sure to check out our website for contests, giveaways, show notes, live video stream, podcasts, and more. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. We are the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Ben Crossman, and everyone out there, thank you so much for tuning in. Today on the program, second part of the show, Computer and Technology News. Where we try to catch you up on all the latest tech stories. And really, in the first part of the program, we have a guest. And today's guest, we may have to do a little bit of troubleshooting if everything isn't going well. But Giftapart, and if you haven't heard about that, then this is a very, very, well, I would say it's almost like a simple concept. I'm surprised I haven't seen it before. And I think the way that they do it is very, very interesting. So we're going to be talking to, of course, the founder and CEO of the company to talk about all, how they came up with the idea, how it works, and of course, how you can use it. So first things first, computeramerica.com. That's where you'll find everything, including today's show notes. You'll find today's show, past shows, future shows, all that kind of thing. You'll find a link to our guest website. And of course, if you'd like to check them out yourself, giftapart.com. But as I said before, we'll have a link in the show notes. Also while you're there, check out some of the articles. We have reviews, we have op-eds, things like that. Of course, that are essentially our newspaper column, just, kind of hosted on our site. And past shows, video portion, podcasts, all that good stuff. computeramerica.com. It's fun. We recommend it. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and attempt to get our guest and make sure that all the audio sounds right. And hey, we're going to see how this works. So again, as we said, Giftapart, if you'd like to check them out, giftapart.com. We'll be talking to Mr. Filipe Pedroso, Esquire. He is the founder and CEO, and let's take him off mute. And Filipe, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. That's perfect. Everything. Hey, it all came together in the last second, and I'm glad that you got it working. So that's perfect. And we're going to go ahead and switch you on so everyone can see you there in your office and all the good stuff. So, hey, welcome on to Computer America. How you doing?
I'm okay. Hey, thanks, Ben, for having me on. It's a pleasure being on your show.
Our pleasure. And, we always like to introduce our guests, our audience to new ideas, new services and products and things like that. And hey, this is certainly new. I don't think we've ever had a product or a service like this here on the show before. As I said, kind of in the introduction, the complete idea of it is not, completely foreign. It's just, you seem to have mixed a couple of different existing models to make something really unique, and I'm looking forward to this interview. So I think a good place to start would be a little bit of background on yourself. What is your background? Have you always been an entrepreneur? And then talk about Giftapart and how you came up with the idea to start this.
Cool. I'm actually a lawyer by trade. I was born in Portugal. I moved to the U.S. when I was 7 years old, so I grew up here. Mm-hmm. And I went on to law school, got a law degree, practiced law for 20 years. And then at some point, my wife, who was getting her master's at NYU, she had this cool idea about separating gifts into parts. And so I thought about it, and I thought, this could really be something useful for people. And this is going back 7-8 years ago. And then I thought, what's really cool about this system is how it's like socially connective. It's not just about giving, or not just about giving money to someone or contributing to the gift, but it's the way that people are really connected in the whole gifting experience. And so when we had this idea back then, it was a little bit novel. And the issue that we had was that retailers really weren't ready to sell, in a big marketplace. Mm-hmm. And so our business model really it really needed to have everything that you could possibly want in one platform for it to work. So eventually, the landscape changed. E-commerce changed in large part because of Amazon. Amazon started growing very quickly in the past 5-6 years, and retailers started thinking outside the box. And so we've created really what we call the world's first social e-commerce marketplace. Right now, we have about 200 retailers. I mean, these are like big box retailers. We have a Target and Walmart and Macy's and Best Buy. And, you have really the majority of America's big box retailers on here. We have 25 million products.
Wow.
But what really makes us unique is really there are two things that really are special. Number one is the social e-commerce, and number two is the gifting system that you touched upon. So if you want, I can kind of describe a little bit of both.
So yeah, and I think the next place for for us to kind of get into this is you mentioned that this is kind of like a social e-commerce site and I really wanted to talk about kind of how this is separated, and again I think I'm going to make you repeat yourself here, but how this separates from other e-commerce, because you mentioned that things like Amazon, they do exist, and of course other large companies can come on to Amazon and push their products or at least have products featured on Amazon and things like that. You have, and like you mentioned, this is actually a huge point in your favor, because some of the other e-commerce sites, they're from brands you've never heard of. They're very similar to brands you've heard of, but not quite. You have all these very well-known brands, and
Right.
all in one place. I guess my first question to you is, do they know you're doing this? Have they, have they been in discussions with you to integrate into your platform, or is this something that through the miracle of the internet and technology, you're able to kind of pull and scrape and kind of put this together without their knowledge?
No, this is all done through multiple business partnerships. In fact, we actually get a commission, a small commission of the sale. That doesn't really impact the consumer. They're paying the same price on Giftapart as they would on the retailer site. So.
Yeah, and that's and of course that also explains how you make your money, that very small commission. And I'm assuming that's hey, these large box stores would like to make a sale and earn their little bit of commission, you earn your little bit of commission, and everyone walks away a little bit happier. And then of course there's the social aspect to it. I think the best way to approach this, because there's a lot of stuff going on here, I see here 1, 2, 3 step here on your website that you have. Why don't we pretend that someone is completely new, never been to the service, walk us through how they would go about, let's say, setting up or buying something for their friend, or you could do one or the other.
All right. So one of the cool things we have on our site really is this gifting system, right? So we're the first company in the world that lets you choose the order you get your gifts. So it's pretty cool. So when you think about that, so let me give you an example. Let's say a couple is getting married, right? Mm-hmm. And they want to get a refrigerator. And typically a refrigerator will be outside the price point of what their friends and family may buy for them. So let's say a refrigerator costs $1,200, $1,500, whatever it may be.
Right.
I'm not going to come to your wedding and I'm not going to buy a refrigerator, right? I may contribute a couple $100. I'm not going to buy a refrigerator. So, but now for the first time, you can actually do that. You can actually come to Giftapart, create your gift registry, pick your gifts, and actually select the order that you'll get your gifts. So you can put the refrigerator first, the bedding set second, the microwave third, and you will get the gifts in that order. And we're the only place in the world that lets you choose that order, and so you can actually control that, right? So what do? You come on the site, you make an account, you pick the items that you want, and every single item that you see, if you can click on an item right now, right? If you click on an item, any item,
sure, jacket, perfect,
right? See, on the bottom right, see the icons. On the bottom right, you'll have that little gift box. So all you do to add the item to the list is you would simply click that box, and it will take you right through the setup process, and you could add that item right to your gift list. So it's very easy, 1, 2, 3. And once you have a list, you can then prioritize by just dragging and dropping your items on your list. You can actually prioritize how you get the item. So the refrigerator, let's say, is number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So now your friends would come to your gift list. They would see, they would come right to the refrigerator, and instead of buying, outright the refrigerator, they would buy parts of your gift.
Huh.
And what we do is we break that up into these arbitrary physical parts. So you're literally buying a piece of that refrigerator. But what's really cool and fun is not just the buying part, is how we interlink that with social. So now, when you buy that and you contribute to your refrigerator,
Mm-hmm.
I can then leave a comment linked to that part or the parts that I buy that connect me to the gift experience, connect you to receiving that gift from me, and we all feel more connected. So when I buy those parts belong to me, and you actually see that physical contribution from me to you, and it has, hey, congratulations, look forward to seeing you at your wedding, blah, blah, blah. You can say whatever you want, and it's super connective. So when you think about, gift giving is not just about me going and throwing money at you. Gift giving is a social, interactive experience, right? So I'm trying to connect with you on a social level by gifting to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we've done is we've taken, the crowdfunding idea that's existed forever, and we've brought it up really to a much higher level where now it's very socially connective. So it really finalizes that missing piece that's been missing forever, which is how to connect someone, how to make people feel connected to the gift giving. So
it's sorry to jump in here on you, but I do want to say that this sounds very like, as you said, something is very needed, because you could make these registries and, saying that we want these gifts, and you kind of have to hope that, maybe your parents or some rich in-laws are going to, buy you the fridge, and everyone else is going to jump on, the napkin set. They're going to jump on the $20 gift card. And everyone's, everything at the bottom is going to be purchased, but then the things that, let's face it, you need a fridge, you need a microwave, the things that you need still end up, kind of on your shoulder. So this bits and pieces will gift a part of a piece is just making so much sense right now. And maybe just because I'm such a cynic, talk about what happens when, let's say, a $1,500 fridge, let's say someone raises $1,400. Does that whole thing fall apart? Do maybe the person who owns the account, can they make up the difference with their own money? What happens if, let's say, a particular goal is not reached?
Yeah, great question. So let's say the refrigerator is 85% funded, right? What you can do is you can come in,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's my gift, I can come in, I can pay the difference, and I can get the refrigerator, right? Or I can let if that list expires and I didn't contribute to it and no one else contribute to it, that money goes into my account. So now I can go and buy whatever I want with money. So we have 25 million products and 200 stores. So you'll find whatever you want basically on the platform. So that money is yours to do as you choose and buy whatever you want.
Right. So
we cover that.
Yeah. So definitely this is a little bit different than, of course, crowdfunding, because crowdfunding, if you don't reach a specific goal, then, there's a potential that you can give your money back. But you're saying that really at the end of the day, this is a way for gifts. And if you feel that you want to give someone $40, that $40 is theirs regardless. It's just you kind of set the goal, right. You can work towards it. But if it's not met, hey, it's still a gift to you. You get to keep the money.
Right. I mean, that's the idea.
Makes sense.
So when you think about it, Ben, what we've done is we've removed all the friction from the gift giving process. So me if I'm the gift receiver, I'm always going to get exactly what I want in the order that I choose. Right? I'll always get what I want. Mm-hmm. And if I'm the gift giver, there is no easier way for me to give to someone than using this Giftapart system. So someone who's setting up a gift list using Giftapart is actually making the lives of their friends and family so much easier. Because think about the gift giving side of it, right? All you do is you get this link, you follow the link. You don't have to think about what to buy someone. You don't have to browse through a list of hundreds of items, right? To picking something by your price point. All you do is come to the Giftapart, click on as many parts as you want to pay, and you pay and you're done. So it's like you've completely made the process for your gift givers like a million times easier. They don't even have to go out and buy you a gift card. They don't have to think about what gift card to buy you. What store does that guy like? You don't have to think about that, right? I mean, you just completely removed the whole friction of gift giving, and we made it fun and easy, and it's social. So you don't have that guilt of buying someone a gift card. I'm like, oh, I didn't spend the time thinking about what to buy this guy. I mean, you can just basically go in here. You're contributing to someone's happiness. You're buying them what they want, and you can leave a comment linked to that part, and you feel like you bought a piece of that refrigerator. So it's really cool. It's like
you're essentially taking all of the hassle that would normally go into, let's say, a group of 20 friends. And again, we're just going to stick with the fridge. 20 friends getting together saying, let's buy this person a fridge. And you're just, you're taking it all on your platform, making it just that easy. So and of course, there's a lot to go on here. But first thing I wanted to mention for everyone out there listening on the radio, we have the website up on the video portion, and we highly recommend you go check this out. But how else do I put this? You have, this looks a lot like, Pinterest. There's a continuous scrolling feed. There's a lot of different things for people to click on. There's there's dislike, so that I'm assuming your algorithm in the background can, if someone doesn't like all the let's say hippie dog paintings, then hippie dog paintings will not show up on their feed anymore. Talk about the user design, the elements, and kind of how you landed on this type of system, as like a front end.
Well, once you create an account, Ben, the page everything is very social on our platform. So, for example, there's a profile image on the upper right-hand corner. So you have a profile page that links together all of the social activity going on through your gift lists, through your event planning pages, through all aspects of the site, right? Are all brought in together through your social main profile page. Mm-hmm. So when you log in and make an account, your homepage kind of changes up a little bit. All right. So instead of seeing a lot of those retailer profile banners that you're seeing now, that's actually replaced by your friends' social feeds and things that are going on your social activities. So now your homepage kind of becomes a snapshot a little bit of what's happening around you and your friends, socially. So you kind of see that in the homepage. We also obviously try to learn a little bit about our users to customize and make that homepage experience as best as possible for them. If you click on any product, you can like it, right, or like you're doing it now, or disliking it. If you like a product, we show you other similar products, right, so that you can see more of what you're liking. But what's more important is that if you're signed in, we try to learn a little bit about you so that we can customize the homepage to better suit your taste. So when you come on Giftapart, it's a great place for you to kind of like it's almost like you physically went out to the store and you're kind of browsing for ideas and things. Well, that's the idea behind our homepage. It kind of gives you a place just kind of to browse, see things that you like, see things that you may like, kind of get ideas of what you may need or you may want to give to somebody. And so it's just a great place just to, do a little browsing, shopping experience. At the same time, being very social. So we have full social on the platform as well. And let me give you another example. So
sure,
we have full event planning on the platform. So I don't know if you know that, but we have full. You can create an event, right? You can create your wedding invitations or your birthday party invitations, whatever it may be. You can invite your guests through Giftapart. You can invite them we have email invitations, we have SMS, text messaging invitations. You can even generate a paper invite through the platform. And then your guests can RSVP back by clicking a link. And by the way, without all that ad clutter that you see on many other sites. There's no advertising on our site. So if when you invite your guests through Giftapart, they don't, you're not forcing them to go through, pages of ads to respond back to your event. So you click back your RSVP. You can keep track of who's coming and not on the platform. And what's also cool is that every event has its own social feed. And it's a great way for your friends to kind of connect about the party, share ideas, help you plan, gossip about the party, chat about talk about the party. And you can gather all of the party media onto that event page. So now your friends go to your birthday party. They're taking all these selfies and, all this stuff is going on. They can kind of, upload all these pictures right to your Giftapart event page. And it's a great place for you to gather all those pictures and all that media linked to that party. And that stuff is saved forever. So now you have this really cool memory that's all linked together of your birthday event. You have all your gifting social, all your event social, your event media, pictures and video, all in one place. So it's really cool.
It definitely is, and really, this is way cooler than I thought I was going to be coming into it. No offense, but hey, that's why I wanted to talk to you, because this is this is really a really neat idea, because I just about a year ago went through my brother's wedding. My girlfriend, her sister is actually very into particular gifts, and she spent, I'm sure, dozens or hundreds of hours putting together just kind of gift ideas for everyone. This this was sorely needed. I can say, just from my own personal life, and I can see why you having this idea with your wife certainly led to something as unique as this. So one thing I wanted to touch on again real quick, and you mentioned no advertising. So there's a couple things here. The first one, no ads. That's a very strange way. So because company, all these things, like all these different, products, the companies would love to, of course, would love you to buy it. Ralph Lauren would love you to buy their shirts. Why did you, kind of forego, let's say, promoted post or featured post, or, whatever the new terminology for ads are, why did you forego the, people paying money to put their product in front of your audience first?
Yeah, very simply, Ben, we are really obsessed with our customer experience on the site, and so we don't want products to be prioritized based on advertising. We don't want the experience to be cluttered with ads. And since we're generating revenue off of the sales, we don't really have to go that route. And
Interesting.
The ad, once you start getting into ads, it starts impacting a little bit the customer experience, and so that we're really just focused on giving people the best possible place to come in here, do what they have to do, and not have to be bombarded with ads and all that stuff, So
very, very well said. And I guess the second part of that, because it's getting people to buy an item, it's certainly something that companies do. And let's say, especially with like clothing companies, when something is out of season, they'll put it on sale. How do you handle sales and not selling things? I mean, when something is on sale for 50% off on a user's site, is that reflected automatically on your site, or how are people sure that going through your system is the most cost-effective way to purchase one of these items?
Yeah, okay. Twofold. Number one, we try very hard to keep our data as current as possible. We are updating our data on a daily basis, sometimes more than once a day, so that our data is as close as possible with our retailer partner data, right? That's number one. Now, number two, occasionally, because prices do change sometimes very quickly, sometimes our prices may not reflect an accurate price from the retailer's point of on their site.
Right.
So what we do is, believe it or not, if the price is actually, when we execute the order, if the price is actually lower at the moment we execute the order, we refund our client the money back for the difference that they've saved. So that's something that we do.
Again, just to kind of jump in here, it sounds like you aren't obviously you don't have a warehouse full of diamond earrings and basketballs and things like that. It sounds like you are through your website, you're essentially still using, let's say, Best Buy. You're using Best Buy to execute your order and ship it to the person. So you're just really a front end.
That's right, exactly. So Best Buy is actually executing the order. They're shipping it to your house, and you actually return it back to Best Buy. So that's something that, from the user's point of view, from a consumer point of view, you may not know the name Giftapart that well because, we're a relatively new company, but you do know Best Buy, right? And you're buying it from Best Buy. You can return it back to Best Buy. So there's really, it's great because you have the confidence in buying that you're buying it from the retailer. What we do on top of that, though, Ben, is that we also offer a cashback reward to our user. So if an item costs $100 from retailer ABC, and I don't want to be picking on retailers, so say retailer ABC item costs $100 on Giftapart, we may give the user 5% cash back. So now you're getting $5 back by buying it on Giftapart that you wouldn't get from buying on retailer ABC. And so before you know it, if you do, all this, if you're doing all the shopping on Giftapart, all that money, all that cash back is adding up, and you can buy whatever you want. So there is a benefit. There is a benefit by buying it through our platform. We also have Giftapart Plus. It's right over your head. I can see the Giftapart Plus, and that's a membership program that we created. That lets people get free shipping. They can mix and match the stores and they can get free shipping. Right now we have a promotion at a $29 price point. So once you reach $29 in your shopping cart, no matter how many retailers you have, or no matter how you mix and match those retailers, you can get free shipping on your entire order by joining Giftapart Plus. And Giftapart Plus is a yearly membership program. It costs $99. Right now we have a promotion for $79. So
very, very cool. And that actually brings something to mind where, let's say someone is an event planner, by trade, that is what they do. Have you ever considered, because so far we've made it sound like, one individual is setting up a birthday, a wedding, a kid's party, whatever. One individual is setting up one or even just a couple events. What about someone who's setting up multiple events and wants to use this for their business? Is it still the same portal, or are we looking at some other kind of account system?
Yeah. Right now, we don't have that at the moment. It's something that we are thinking about, but right now we've just really been focused on our end user. So that's where our focus is. There's one more thing I want to kind of share with you. Yeah. Sure. What kind of excites me about the platform is sort of like when I think about a teenage kid, right, that maybe wants an iPad, right, or maybe wants the new tech gadget or the new Nintendo Switch. And maybe they can afford to buy it, and their family, it might be a little bit more than maybe their family can afford it or is comfortable buying it for them. Right. Well, think about it. Now they can come on Giftapart, and when they have a birthday party, they can invite all their friends on Giftapart, and all their friends can contribute like $20 or whatever towards that gadget, and they're getting what they really want to get. So we're helping people's dreams come true. We're helping people get the things that perhaps normally would be a little difficult for them to get. Through this platform, they can get it, and I think that's a really cool thing. We're really happy about that. We hope people, can use this to really, find things that they want to be happy, and so.
It's certainly something, and just 1 second. I just want to say that it's something that I guess happens, between people all the time. Where it's like, hey, I'm saving up for this. Hey, maybe someone with a friend. Do you want to go in halves on this item? It happens all the time, kind of behind the scenes. But I guess stores never really counted for that. They just, stores always assume one purchaser, and we want money. Here's the product. We're done. You're taking that and, of course, again, making a store, making a whole user interface around that idea.
Right. We also are opening up our platform for charity use. We've created a 501c3 organization, the Giftapart Foundation. what we envision is that, let's say a charity organization wants to do a fundraiser, they can certainly use our platform and this part buying system to raise funds for their cause. So let me give you an example. So let's say that, God forbid, there's a natural disaster somewhere and people are impacted by it. Well, the Giftapart system is a great way to raise money to rebuild or for that particular cause because of that social connectivity that we have in our platform. It really brings people together. So now people can kind of come in and buy these boxes to help raise money for the cause, right? But it's those little messages that they can share with the people that are suffering, right? That make the gifting and make the donation experience so much more special for both sides. So now I can come in and I can donate $20 or $10 or whatever, and I can say, hey, I was there and I really connected you guys, and God bless you, whatever. And now you can leave a little message with your donation. And at the end of the day, right, when that donation then hits the cause, imagine all those messages together, being shared to the people that are going through something horrible, how that can be so uplifting for them. And so we really think, wow, this could be a great way to raise money, for important causes and connect people socially in that process. And so we're certainly going to make our platform available for that. So we're excited about that as well.
You're definitely sticking to really the roots of the crowdfunding, which, back in the day, of course, there was crowdfunding to get certain projects and things like that. But of course, through, different websites that cropped up, of course, the social good side of crowdfunding, definitely became a thing. And it's very cool that, of course, with a 501c3, you donate through that, tax write-off, and of course, the organization still get their money. So that's very, very charitable of you. I'm glad that you went through the effort. That definitely shows. So looking at your website here, and one other thing I wanted to mention, this calendar you have up here, of course, this is going to be what I assume it's going to be for, let's say, a wedding. You can set dates, you can set times, maybe reminders and things like that. For longer form, I guess kind of registries, of course they'd be like, my birthday's in a week, let's set something up and you're good to go. But let's say for a wedding that you're planning for 9 months, what is the purpose of the calendar, I guess is my question.
The calendar, in a way, is something that we don't talk much about. But I got to tell you, it's a pretty awesome little thing that we sort of ignore most of the time. And I'm going to tell you why it's awesome. When you start building up your social network on Giftapart and your friends kind of start joining up and stuff, now, their birthdays are there and their special holidays. Well, your calendar links all of your friends together, like all of those activities. When your friends set up a party or an event through Giftapart, well, that shows up on your calendar. So if you're invited, that automatically pops up in your calendar. But what's a feature that we have that's also kind of awesome is that if a retailer that you're following, right, because you can follow retailers like on the platform, and you can kind of get on your social feed, you kind of can get their specials and whatever they're talking about.
Right.
So let's say you're following a retailer and they have a special sale event for a particular date. That'll also show up on your calendar. So it's a great way for you to kind of always be in the know of what's happening, not only with your friends' social events, but also the retailers' specials that are going on that are very easy for you to see and access on your calendar. So it kind of brings that all together.
So my next question, and really what you're showing here is that you have made a platform that is really self-contained. A lot of the reminders, a lot of the notifications, a lot of the system setup, the friends, the social aspects of it. A lot of it can be done within this one platform. Related to that though, we know that a lot of social media happens on the social media platforms. Is there any is there any integration for, let's say, if someone does have Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, to, I guess, kind of export or kind of share something on Pinterest or like it on Facebook, things like that? Can they take what they do here and take it out? Because obviously they can keep everything self-contained if they'd like to.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, people have right now there are multiple social media sites, and they all serve a function. They're all awesome. I use them all.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look, everything in our platform is cross-shareable with everybody. So if you click, I think if you click on a product now,
right there.
scroll down, you'll see you can share right there. I mean, so you can even share the product right now on any of those platforms. And we're also building in integration where we can actually pull some of their data onto our site and kind of have some of the key posts showing up on their feed on Giftapart. But every social media platform has a little bit of a niche and their own little thing. I mean, we're really about connecting people in their gifting and sharing and event planning and their shopping. That's really where we bring all that social together. But at the same time, we make it very easy for you to cross-share with other platforms that you use for your social activity. So, we try to be all inclusive.
I got that. No, it's this has really you've really thought this through. I guess is what I'm saying. It's I'm trying to find ways that it'd be really cool if you did X, but it turns out you already do X, so you're good to go. You've been working on it, and by the way, you said kind of new recently. Obviously, the idea happened a couple years ago, but when did you guys officially kind of launch this?
Yeah, I mean, we started building this platform in September of 2017, and it took us a couple of years to build. I mean, it's a huge project. We have e-commerce, we have social, we have event planning, the calendar. So and we wanted to get it right. So the apps have been out for 4 months now. Mm-hmm. We have apps available on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store, and so you can use Giftapart by downloading the app, or you can use it on your browser. The browser has a desktop version, and it's also mobile friendly. So if you're using it on a device and you just go to your browser and type Giftapart, you'll see a browser version of the app. The apps have been out for 4 months, and we've been growing very quickly. We're very happy with the feedback we're getting and with the user growth that we've been getting. Right. And then, we need to just get the word out so people know we exist. So I appreciate you taking the time, to bring us on the podcast, and it certainly helps in getting people aware that this functionality exists out there for them to use it, and we hope they love it.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. It certainly will be on the podcast, and of course, while we're on the air here, I was going to ask you, is there any other topics that we didn't talk about? But really, I think we covered this pretty well, and I think that the next step is just for people to go out to giftapart.com and give it a try for themselves. And really, Filipe, again, anything that we missed that you feel we should touch on, or it seems like we covered it pretty well.
I think we did. I mean, we also have the social e-commerce, but we touched on a lot of it. So it's good.
Well, the social and again, I kind of apologize, but the e-commerce, I assume it's because this is an e-commerce site, and the social aspect is that you get to share, you get to kind of cross post, you get to kind of interact with the site as kind of a social media site as well. How would you kind of describe social e-commerce? We're actually the first company in the world to link social directly with a product. Mm-hmm. So, what we're looking to do, and our vision is that instead of people relying on basically a one-way review system, where someone may leave 3 stars, 5 stars, whatever, we want people to have a dialogue about a product. So when you click on a product, and right now, since we're only out for 4 months, most of the products don't have a lot of social on it. But if you click on any product, sure, you'll see that on the right side, there's a social feed where you can have a conversation about that product. So now, whenever that product opens up, right, you're able to basically have a conversation about that product with anyone you want.
So so let's say I had bought that. Is that a shirt? I can't see, or a vest. I had bought
jacket.
that.
Yeah, jacket.
Okay, I had purchased that jacket, and I could upload a picture of myself wearing it, and I can talk about how it fits. I can talk about whatever I want. I can put, and so I can come, and then if you're looking to buy it, you can come in and you can actually engage me in talking about the jacket, and you can just ask general questions, and we want people to have a dialogue about things, and even the retailers who can come in and talk to you about the product, and you can ask them questions, they can respond to your questions, and they can engage in conversation with you about the product. So we envision sort of like, we envision this to be as if like we're kind of taking that physical experience of going to the store, right, where you're going to go and talk to people and engage in conversation about something,
right,
and we're bringing it in to the online world for the first time. So when you think about that, really, no one's ever done that before. So you certainly have other e-commerce sites right now, and you have big companies doing it. And I don't want to nitpick anybody. I'm not going to name names, but no one really has brought in that social dialogue into a product level. So, and what's fun is that how we envision this is that not only can people talk, but then the retailer can talk with you and vice versa, and just be, a free flow conversation about these items and things that you may want to talk about. So it's a little different. And we're the first company to do it. Most of the things that we talked about, we're the first ones to do. We filed patents on them, so we're kind of excited that we are the innovators in some of these fields.
Yeah.
And
and again, like I said, this is something that we've seen other e-commerce sites, and unfortunately, some of the ones I'm thinking of, they did not go with the name brand thing. They did not have any social media link. Their big push was that they were, I guess, the cheapest way, and of course deals and like flash sales and things like that. That if you maybe if you buy this in the next 20 seconds, we'll send this out to you for like $2. And turns out, it was a ripoff even at $2. But you have avoided most of the pitfalls that I've come to associate with e-commerce sites, and really, like I said, especially with like the event planning, you have pulled a lot of it in-house, and that is that's different. So Filipe, I definitely want to thank you for coming on the show. And again, we'll have a link in the show notes, everyonegiftapart.com. We have been talking to the founder and CEO, again, Mr. Filipe Pedroso. He is, great interview. Love talking about this. And hey, looking forward to maybe in, 6 months, in a year, we'll have you back on and see how it's going, because this has a lot of potential, and I'm looking forward to it.
Hey Ben, we're actually just so your audience knows, to give you a little sneak peek, but we're coming out with 2.0 this month, and there'll be a lot of design changes. Where the site's going to look a little prettier, and we're going to do a lot of upgrades to the UI.
Sure.
And also we're adding DM to the site, so you can actually have a DM group for your event. So when you do like your little birthday party, you can actually have an internal chat group. Yeah. Inside Giftapart. So there's a lot more features we're adding coming up this month, and so I look forward to our next conversation.
Sure.
Really
absolutely.
Appreciate having me on the show.
Yeah, our pleasure. And be sure to send an email when that happens, and we'll take a look at it on the air and see what's changed. So that sounds great. Yeah. And everyone, once again, computeramerica.com. We'll have a link in the show notes. And everyone, that's been Giftapart. Filipe, until next time, have a great day. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. You too, man. Cheers.
Cheers. And now we're going to go ahead and do computer and technology news. So Filipe, have a great day. Everyone, we're going to go ahead and continue on. Here we go. So let's go ahead and do computer and technology news, brought to you by Computer America. And I'm supposed to have the sound effect, and I do. Boy, I'm really good at what I do. So everyone, let's see. Computer and technology news brought to you by Computer America. And let's see, I think we're going to do, all the different ones. Okay, how about this one? This one should be pretty obvious. And this coming to us from Vice, we've heard about this kind of thing, unfortunately, for a long time, and I always want to draw attention to it because, it's deserving of attention. It's the fact that we don't really take pride in the state of our infrastructure. And I'm not talking about highways. I'm unfortunately talking about broadband. Broadband internet means so much in terms of what people can do at home, and really, not just for job prospects, but just for their everyday life. Being able to stream television, to just download things at a reasonable speed. It's higher, or access to higher speeds of broadband has been shown to be linked with economic growth. Places with good internet networks, hey, businesses start up there because businesses can then utilize the infrastructure that is put in place. It's much like, hey, I bet you places with a great highway system are very conducive to businesses that do a lot of, let's say, shipping or driving or things like that. It just makes sense. So, good broadband, very important. Unfortunately, we have a system in place where we allot, third-party companies to build out our infrastructure. And the problem with that is that they self-report about coverage area. And when they self-report about coverage area, the more access to broadband that they give, the more money that they receive. It's a very 1-to-1 ratio. So that creates a system to not be honest with their reporting, but to kind of smudge the numbers as much as they can in their favor so that they get paid for the least amount of work that they could do and then, they get the most amount of money in return for it. Such is private industry. I'm not bashing capitalism. This is what has been happening in the United States with broadband. A lot of people out there, I'm sure that if you have recently shopped for an internet provider, you'll know that in your area you have one, maybe two providers. If you're lucky, you have two. And of those two, only one is actually feasible. The other one will be prohibitively expensive. They would have to run a line out to you. In many, many places, there's just not good access. And that's what the story from, of course, Motherboard is talking about. So they said that the FCC's 2019 broadband deployment report states that 21.3 million Americans lack access to any broadband whatsoever. And that's including cable, DSL, fiber, or wireless. 21.3 million Americans. I get it. America is not one of these smaller countries. America is not South Korea. South Korea is about the size of not Maine, but like Georgia. South Korea is like half the size of Georgia. So there are logistical differences to a lot of this. So there's definitely going to be a change. But according to Vice, according to a new study by broadband availability tracking firm Broadband Now, that number is probably twice as bad as the FCC indicates, thanks to flawed FCC methodology and government apathy. So, like I said, self-reporting doesn't work in a lot of cases. And this creates problems, especially with the FCC, because the FCC, that is supposed to be the place for the best numbers that the government can act on. If the government, and trust me, the government and legislation and for budget proceedings, when it comes time to allocate funds for, let's say, infrastructure improvement, what numbers do they go to? They go to the FCC and look at the broadband deployment report, and they say, oh, well, this, and this needs more money so that they can catch up with the rest of the United States. When the numbers from the quote-unquote trusted source are bad, everything else is sure to follow. You can't make good decisions with bad data. So the firm examined broadband availability across the United States using more than 11,000 addresses from a data set of 1 million. So they took about, 1%, little over 1% of the, data set, and I guess they tried to verify. And they said that they then verified via broadband availability websites of 9 different internet service providers. Even taking a conservative approach to estimates, the group claimed that the actual number of unserved American households is closer to 42 million. That's double the FCC estimates. So they mentioned, why is there such a disparity? Why is the reported number half what it should be? Well, they said that for decades, the FCC has taken the broadband industry's word on where broadband is actually available via Form 477, which we can actually put up on the internet or right up on the screen right there. So they said that the FCC then uses, and of course, Form 477, data collected from internet service providers. The FCC then uses a flawed methodology to declare that an area is fully served if just one home is, of course, served in an entire census block. And think about this. We've heard about this problem before. They've tried, or the FCC has blocked efforts to fix this. The FCC has taken measures to change that from, kind of like a block by block by block basis. And instead they want to go to essentially a geolocation where they can say these addresses are served and they can pinpoint down to the house as opposed to just giant blocks. And the FCC has actually opposed this kind of reporting because it would be much more accurate. And yeah, it would, really make the numbers something that they currently aren't. So they said that it only takes a few minutes fooling around with the FCC's $350 million broadband map, which you can actually find it here. And to get a good read on the problem, the map routinely tells users that they have a choice of 6 or 7 ISPs, even if just one or none are available. It fails to track consumers' biggest broadband complaint, pricing. And yeah, of course, that's the point of competition and fostering good competition and having these government allotments for private companies to build out the infrastructure is that you allow for competition within a certain area. If you really did have 8 or 9 different service providers competing for your business, then yeah, prices would certainly be lower to attract more customers. But because there's 0 to 1 actual usable there's 0 to 1 actual usable provider, that is certainly a problem. So it's not good. So let's see, they have a quote here. I don't have a good answer for why the FCC hasn't moved faster on this. This is from Broadband Now CEO, saying it's been long known that the census block approach overstates broadband availability, but the size of the gap hasn't been quantified or estimated. Our hope is that this study helps spur the change needed. And of course, as I said, they only measured about 1%. Like this, I wouldn't even consider this like an in-depth study. This is like, kind of just a study. It's, and as you can see here, from this map, if you're watching the video portion, you can see, they have this thing here where it's like, most of this area out here has like 2 providers. There's a large section in dark in the middle where even this section here says that they have upwards of maybe 8 or 9 providers, when in reality, probably not the case. Not the case at all. So with that being said, it's just so bad. So the FCC finally acknowledged the mapping problem last summer, announcing that it would consider a more granular approach using crowdsourcing and geospatial data, like I was mentioning, provided by ISPs. Those efforts have yet to materialize. And of course, they have the wireless sector is currently lobbying the FCC to have next-gen 5G wireless networks excluded from any mapping improvement efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, when the industry that is so gung-ho about 5G, but then they don't want it accurately mapped to show the actual service provider, the actual service area, maybe they know that it's not going to be such a smooth rollout. So they said that ISPs could simply report availability based on individual street level addresses, but efforts by the previous FCC to embrace address level data were opposed by the industry, saying that, quote, "We believe that address level availability data is essential to close the digital divide and that Americans should have clear and open information about how they can purchase high-speed internet." So there you go. Yeah, it's, of course, Ajit Pai has long insisted that his top priority is curing the digital divide, but you can't fix the problem you don't understand. And of course, if you just go ahead and let companies self-report, you don't get accurate or good or any kind of, real usable data, then, hey, what good is, closing that digital divide that you really don't have a good picture of? So there you go. Again, we'll have links to all this in the show notes if you want to check that out. And this map is actually pretty interesting to look at. If for no other reason than, let's face it, there's just, no one is, no one's giving you good data on exactly how many service providers you have. I know that for my area alone, I'm not going to show it here on the map. Let's actually pull that off the screen. But for my area alone, just to not pinpoint this exactly for you, I know firsthand that I have access to, I have access to 2 providers. That's our choice. We have 2 providers. That's it. End of story. And looking at this map right now, I'm looking at places on the map that say that I have 12 or more providers. Let's see, kind of where I live. You're looking at, let's see. You're looking at, it says here that I have access to about 4 to 6 different providers, and each one offering speeds that I know are not available to me whatsoever. So, it's very hard to take this map at its word when considering, hey, it's if you ever drill down and actually look at the data is not very good and it's not very trustworthy. So there you have it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and continue on. We have time for one more story if we have time. So that was just our first story. Our second story that we're going to do here, how about we talk about this one? This seems like a good one. And by this one, MIT Technology Review. Very good publication. Highly recommended. They do a very good job. So actually, they even have a nice little animation here if you want to check that out. But essentially, this is what we need. And I knew a large company was going... Oh, and by the way, real quick about last story, I had 2 providers and one of them mistakenly said they service my house, but turns out the infrastructure isn't there. So I had one. And of course, I'm sure that, Big Girl in the chat room, if you would have insisted, hey, you said I have service, give me service, they would have said, sure, give us $10,000 and we'll run a line out to your house. So, yay service. So this next one, this is from MIT Review, and I really like the story because this is a problem caused by technology and one that could very easily be solved by technology. So you can see here, Jigsaw, a technology incubator at Google, has released an experimental platform called Assembler. And Assembler, essentially, it's to help journalists and frontline fact checkers quickly verify images, where Assembler combines several existing techniques in academia for detecting common manipulation techniques, including changing image brightness and pasting copied pixels elsewhere to cover up something while retaining the same visual texture. It also includes a detector that spots deepfakes for of the type created using StyleGAN, an algorithm that can generate realistic imaginary faces. These are all issues that we've seen floating around there. And it's like, how are we going to know what's true? How are we going to know what's accurate in the future with, these things looking so good? These techniques can trick the eye very, very well. But when you get down to the actual pixels, the data, that kind of thing, it's actually very easy. It's actually very easy to see what was stitched, what was manipulated, what was changed. And they said that, of course, why it matters is that fake images are among the hardest things to verify. And of course, they crop up so fast, being able to, for journalists being able to quickly verify if something is real or doctored is going to be just super important for years to come. So they mention here why this isn't a complete, perfect solution, and they say that it's a good step in, of course, in fighting manipulated media, but it doesn't cover many other existing manipulation techniques, including, of course, those used for video. This is just for images. And they said that they will add and update the ecosystem as it keeps evolving. And of course, they recommend that tech giants like Facebook and Google incorporate these techniques to immediately and automatically flag things as doctored. That has to happen. So everyone, we're out of time. I want to thank you so much for coming on, for joining us here on Computer America. Join us next time, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Everyone, have a great day. Thank you so much.